This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2022 Palomino Puma travel trailer, and the model number is 25BHFQ. Okay, so this is a how-to video. I'm going to show you some of the features and how they work. So you have power stabilizers. One switch controls both rear, and there's another switch up front that controls the front. You have a quick connect to the LP system if you want to get a griddle or a grill or anything. It hooks in right there. Okay. Power awning with LED strip. Outside speakers. This is your black tank flush here. Of course, your hookup is on the other side of the trailer, but when you after you dumped your black tank, if you want to flush it, that's where you hook the hose up right there. Okay. This will be outdoor kitchen. So you have a refrigerator, and then of course this griddle pulls out, and you have another quick connect for the griddle right down below there. So you have to connect that also. You get a hose to an LP line to do that, a rubber line. Okay. TV hookup, of course, signal out and power. That's the vent for the range hood. So if you're cooking and you're going to vent to the outside, you want that baffle in there. If you can see it, you want that flapping freely like it is right now. So it vents to the outside. This is a quick connect for a coiled sprayer. Okay. And there's of course your front stabilizer switch. We got here. So you have a 50 amp power cord with a reducer to reduce it down to a 30. Okay, you have your cranks, of course. Now this crank here, this cylinder with a slot cut in it, if you go to the off-door side of the trailer to the stabilizers, you'll see a stud sticking out with a pin through it. Well, you can use this crank over there. You can just plug it right into that this cylinder with a slot. You can plug it right into the shaft with a pin through it. You can actually crank the stabilizers manually to get yourself out of trouble. So if you have any issues with them, you can always crank them manually. That's a 3/4 inch crank there, and that 3/4 inch crank is used here if you have your power tongue jack here, of course. But if you ever fails for any reason, you can pull this rubber plug out of the top and use that 3/4 inch crank to crank it manually to get yourself out of trouble. So, two ways to get yourself out of trouble in situation. This is your quick connect coiled sprayer we talked about. Okay. Battery box, LP. Tanks with automatic changeover regulator. That's the kill switch for your battery right there. Right now it's turned on. Okay. You can shut it off though. This is where you fill your fresh water tank. So the most common way to get water to the trailer is the city water hookup. If you're camping someplace that doesn't have city water, you can just fill your fresh water tank through this port here and then turn on the water pump. And you can pump the water from the tanks, so all your plumbing will work as though you have city water. It'll just be pumping it from the tank. So you have that option too. This is your water heater. If I can get it open one-handed here, it'll be tricky. If I can do it. There we go. Okay, so this works on both gas and electric. You have a heating element behind this cover here, and then you have your gas burner here. There are two switches inside the trailer. I'll show them to you when we get in there. One to turn on the heating element, another one to light the burner. Never run the water heater without water in the tank, and that's where you fill it right there. It's got an anode rod attached to it. It's an 1/16 6-point socket. Like I said, I'll show you the switches when we get inside. See if I can close this one-handed. If not, I'll just come back to it. Oh, I got it. Okay. This is a galley, the front galley tank, which is a gray tank, so that's your second gray tank dump there. You have your black tank on the left valve, and your right and your rear gray tank on the right. Okay. That's the vent for your furnace. Campground cable and satellite through. And we just have our shop cord hooked up here right now. This is the city water hookup. This is the most common way to get water to the trailer. We talked about that. You just hook it up and you're all set. Of course, you have your sprayer, your shower, hot and cold water. You have it's a pre-wire for a backup camera kit, a Furion backup camera kit. So it's pre-wired for that. You have a ladder, which makes it easy to inspect the roof. The manufacturer states every 90 days you should, or somebody should take a look at the roof to make sure everything's in good shape up there, okay? People generally don't inspect the roof enough, so it's an important thing to do. Okay, so here we are inside. Your slide room here, your power awning here, okay? So another slide room. The power awning, never leave it out unattended. Okay. This is your water pump here. It's turned on right now. We talked about that. That's used to pump water out of the fresh water tank if you don't have city water. You also use that to winterize the trailer. Okay. Water heater switch there. Lights, of course. And then you have all your levels. Gray, black, battery, fresh water. It graduates up in 1/3 increments, okay? Okay. Bathroom, sink and shower work like any other sink and shower. The toilet has a flush pedal. Just remember, you put 1 dose of chemical in the bowl and follow up by pushing the pedal down and holding it down till at least 1 gallon of water goes into the tank below along with the chemical. Most people use more than 1 gallon. That's preferable, so never use less than 1 gallon, but you can use more, okay? If you don't use the chemical and water in it, it's running it dry and it'll just cause you problems. It'll get clogged up and it'll be a mess. So you want to make sure that you always use the dose of chemical and at least 1 gallon of water. All the plugs in the trailer are wired through a GFCI, so keep that in mind. This is where you set them. Even if it's a regular looking plug, it's still wired through a GFCI. So this wall retracts, as you can see, and pins up here so you can make a room out of this if you choose to. Okay, or you can just leave it wide open. You have a jackknife sofa right here that turns into a bed. Another TV hookup. Emergency window, of course. It works like they all do. Push it all the way through and then you grab the tab, pull the screen out, and you can escape in an emergency. This is your power converter here. The power converter converts AC to DC current, so let me see if I can get this to open for us. What am I doing? Oh, over here. Okay. So you can see here we have regular circuit breakers, 120 AC. So they're all labeled there, and then the powers, when you're plugged in, you got 120 AC there, and then the power is converted to 12 volt DC. You got 12 volt fuses in there which are labeled, okay? It also will sense how much energy your battery needs, the one up on the tongue, and as long as you're plugged into shore power, it'll keep that charged also. Alright. Okay, so moving on a bit. There's a bunk that folds down here also. So you actually have 2 places to sleep there. You can take the legs out of your table and you can set the table on these cleats and then use the cushions to fill in the space and you get another place to sleep. Okay. You have a fireplace, which is a space heater. You get a remote for it. I don't know if he's plugged in right now all the way. Let me see. Oh yeah. So you can select the flame, the color of it, and that sort of thing. Also, you can see there's low, high, That's the fan speed. Right now it's really kicking the heat out. I can shut it off also. So that's that. You also can set the temperature, and it has a it also has a timer on it, so you can set the timer to turn on and off whenever you want to. Okay. Here we have AM/FM radio. You have Bluetooth. You have a USB drive for your MP3s. Everything you need really, along with a remote. Okay, your TV of course, and a remote. The TV is on a swing out bracket. Yeah, so make sure it locks into place. So make sure it locks into place so it doesn't flail around while you're traveling. Your microwave works like any other microwave. This is your range hood here. We talked about the vent on the outside that you want the baffle open on when you're using the fan, like so. It also has a light. Okay, the range. This is your sparker. Turn it clockwise to spark. You have these 3 knobs for the 3 burners, and there's the oven. It's very simple. I don't know if it's got the gas turned on here, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. But you just click it to the right to spark it, and they light. In the oven, there's a pilot light at the back down there. Once you spark it till it lights, and once it lights, you have it in this position here with the pilot light depressed like that. You keep it depressed while you're lighting it. Once you see the pilot light down here, you still hold this in for another 10 or 15 seconds to heat up the thermocouple. Then you go to operating temperature and you're all set. When you shut it off, the flame goes out, so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Always travel with the lid or the bifold cover down on this. You never want to run it with it up, or else they can break. You make sure that you don't put it down when the burners are hot. You just let them cool down of course. So keys hanging here on the faucet. Thermostat's self-evident. You hit the mode button until you pick out the one you want. Refrigerator is a 12-volt DC refrigerator, so it runs on 12-volt DC. You can latch it here when you're traveling, so it doesn't get bounced around and the doors fly open and they get dented, so you can latch it there. Some storage underneath your bed. You have another TV hook up there, of course, and another emergency window. Sliding door here. Always keep anytime you have a sliding door or anything that can move around, you make sure you latch it so it doesn't get damaged. This is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector right here. It should always be glowing green. If it's not green, get it serviced. It's very important, obviously. It's not expensive, so just deal with it immediately if there's anything wrong with it. You have a closet here. Okay. See what else we have here. Okay, most of the other stuff is pretty self-evident, so I won't go over that. The wall we talked about, if you want to move it back, you're just going to go like this to the other latch on the ceiling right there. Latch it up there. Now you have open space here, okay? Okay, so I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please keep in mind the manufacturer states every 90 days you want to inspect the roof. That's important. And right now this trailer is in camping mode. All the antifreeze has been purged from the trailer, replaced with fresh water. So you're all set for the summer when it comes to the plumbing, okay? Thank you very much.